Welcome everybody to the Bravia 9 experience, also known as the Sony XR90. This TV is pretty incredible, to be honest with you. When I look at it out of the box in professional mode, it just gives you everything that you want without having to set anything up. Now, that's not really new for Sony. I think their professional mode in the past, especially with the A95L, was really fantastic. So the first thing I always check is, does the TV pass the eye test? And what that means is when I turn the TV on, does it impress me? Is the contrast pretty good? Is the brightness pretty good? Everything does look like a premium TV here with the Bravia 9. So I like that. I got the same exact feeling from the G4 when I checked it out. I could tell that, the contrast level is not the same as an OLED TV per se, but for a mini LED TV, man, it is really impressive. And I'll get more to picture quality in just a little bit. But first, I want to talk about something that really stuck out to me about this TV. This thing is a beast. It's massive, but it was actually a pretty easy unboxing experience. All you have to do is fold away the cardboard and then snap the styrofoam off of the sides of the TV, and then you can just put the stand on pretty easily with the TV standing up. I love that. I wish more TVs did that. Too many TV manufacturers make us lay our TVs face down on a table. And I'm talking about large TVs. I don't know who has tables that big, but it's annoying. So we usually have to put them on boxes. So I really appreciate Sony for doing what they're doing with their unboxing process. Here's the back of the TV. You can see where we put the stand. Opted to go for a taller central position so that it didn't fall off the edge of my desk at all. I don't think it looks ugly by any means, but it looks odd in this position. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Do you like this stand position? Would you use it? Only thing with this stand position that I see like causing issues is like, yeah, if you want to put a sound bar on here, you kind of got to lay it on the feet, and that might cause vibrations with the sound. One thing that is actually on the topic of sound really good about this TV is the speaker system. I like it a lot. I don't know how it compares to the A95L. So it does have, I think, what is like essentially top firing speakers. I don't think it has a total, it's going to replace your sound system anytime soon feeling. But some of you may be okay with this and just opt to not get a sound bar at all. And you would like this sound. Sounds really good for TV speakers, like really good. Now on to the picture quality. The biggest aspect of this TV is the backlight system, right? We're not going to go through the scientifics and the mechanics behind it. I did a big interview with Sony talking about this and the design of it, and I also had a video talking about the whole entire concept of this mini LED TV once it was a prototype. So if you need to learn more about the actual backlight system, that would be the video to watch. But if you just want to know how this TV performs, I got you. And it performs quite well. And I'm viewing it again in professional mode. The backlight system seems to be working really well. Very, very well. And I do have it updated to the latest firmware. I'm not seeing a ton of issues in regards to excessive amounts of blooming. Is there blooming on this TV? Absolutely. It doesn't matter what mini LED TV you have, what LCD based TV you have, it's gonna bloom some way or another. And the difference is when it blooms, is it going to distract you? I'm not seeing a ton of distracting blooming, nothing excessive. Again, I think it's very controlled. And I'll show you kind of the way the backlight system works. So I just want to note, like, as I'm going through this, I'll show you kind of the off angle view, but also the straight on view. And I'm going to be raising the camera so you can see what the local dimming is actually doing. So this isn't actually what you're going to see blooming wise with your eyes. I just want to let you know that. So don't be like, oh God, this is such a blooming mess. It's not like that at all. Off, it's completely off. When you go to low, it is going to show you a lot of blooming. When you go to medium, it clamps that down, still shows a lot of highlight brightness. And then when you go to high, it clamps down more blooming, but it does suppress highlight brightness. So do keep that in mind if you're going to use high local dimming. For what I threw at the TV, I would say maybe the weak spot of the TV was game mode. And that's not to say that game mode is terrible on this TV. I think it's actually pretty good for an LCD TV. And that is something you really definitely have to keep in context because looking back at some of the mini LED TVs that I've tested in the past, the game mode definitely wasn't the strong point for those TVs either. So with the Bravia 9, I wouldn't say that this is the strength here because it does exhibit a lot of the same issues that you have with mini LED TVs in regards to game mode. Now, I do think that overall it probably does it better than most mini LED TVs, as you do get really impressive highlight brightness from the TV, and overall HDR impact from game mode is very impressive as well. It's just going to be like when we need to utilize the backlight system, it doesn't seem as good as outside of game mode, and I can't quite shake that feeling. Again, this is not a review, so I'll have to dive into that further, but that's just sort of my initial impressions of the TV is that um, if there was one weak spot on the TV, it was probably the game mode performance wasn't as good as outside of game mode. Good HDR impact overall. I mean, look at this scene here in the rain for Forza. I thought this did really good for a darker type like night scene with some lights involved. I could still spot some weaknesses that told me that this was an LCD based TV, but it wasn't the end of the world like it is with some other mini LED TVs that I've tested in the past in similar scenes. So, in that regard, it does really good. I would say the strengths of the game mode is that it has very bright highlights in regards to bigger highlights, right? It's not necessarily on the smaller specular highlights, like stars in the sky, for example. They still kind of struggle on a mini LED TV in game mode. You know, you throw a Starfield test outside of game mode, it still will struggle with that. One of my favorite features about Sony TVs is the ability to use what they call reality creation. I think that this is a really great enhancing tool. It does a really awesome job overall. It's one of my favorite settings on Sony TVs, and I absolutely love using it in game mode. So I like to include it in the game mode category because I do think that this can help a lot of games. You could really take things to another level with reality creation. I encourage everybody to play around with it. A plus side to game mode is things like that do work. So we do have things that are in the settings menu that are fully functional and they work just fine and they don't seem to add much input lag. If they are adding input lag, I really do not notice a huge hit here. So that's good. What I'm seeing from the contrast of this TV, it doesn't blow me away. You don't have that detailed contrast level to the same degree as an OLED TV, and you could see that in certain scenes. That said, for a mini LED TV, the contrast is very impressive. So that is something that I will say that it does a really good job for its category, which is a mini LED. And I've yet to see a mini LED really stack up against these brand new QD OLEDs and MLA OLED. I will definitely put the Bravia 9 to the test and see if it does indeed hold its own. So overall, this TV is bright, it's beautiful, it lives up to the hype somewhat. And I say only somewhat because there was a lot of 4,000 nit brightness figures being thrown out. I don't think that was very fair to TV buyers and consumers in general getting their hopes up for this TV. It's not going to be the brightest TV in the world. It's just not. But what it is it is a refined TV. It's one of the best backlight systems I've seen in a mini LED TV, and it really does do a fantastic job at local dimming outside of game mode. Inside of game mode, it's okay. Not the best, not the worst, but no LCDs inside of game mode are great. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Bravia 9. If you guys are buying the Bravia 9 or any other TV this year, please do consider using one of my affiliate links in the description. It helps the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more TV reviews, comparisons. And if you want to keep watching, definitely check out this video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.